Hi, this is Frank Todaro, and you're listening to the Geekcast Radio Network.
Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Podcaster Meets World, brought to you by the Geekcast Radio Network. I am one of your hosts, TFG1Mike. Joining me is Steve Megatron. Hello.
Hello.
Holy crap, it's been a few years since we did this show, hasn't it?
It's strange.
Very strange. Today,
I was like, we need something positive to do, in this year. So I was like, let's revisit the world of Boy Meets World.
Yes. This is part 2 of season 2, where we are going to discuss episodes 13 through 23, so the rest of the season, essentially. And wow, it is like literally, I had to spend the last 4 minutes editing the outro to this show to make sure it was correct because, yeah, we haven't done this in a while. So, Boy Meets World, Season 2, Part 2.
I'm telling you, the macaroni and cheese had more grease than Harley's hair.
I think that's how they made it. They just turned him over and wrung him out.
And I thought it was going to be a slow day.
What? You thought we were talking about your hair? No. Everyone knows your hair's not greasy.
Why don't you test it and tell me?
Wow. Dry as a bone. Sorry. Inner ear problem.
Here's a quarter, baboon. Call your parents. Say goodbye.
Harley, in many countries what I said about your hair, it might be considered a compliment. For example, grease.
That's funny.
Hey, he's a pretty funny guy.
So I guess I get to live, huh?
Oh, there's that humor again. I will miss that.
Aw, Holly. Are you sure you gotta beat him up?
Yeah, you don't want to do something ugly to us in front of this beautiful angel of the hallway. Harley, why would you waste your time pounding us when you could be spending it with Claudia Schiffer's cuter sister?
Oh, well, I don't know that I would say cuter.
Turn it off.
Turning it off, sir.
Oh, come on, Holly. Go easy on him. Do it for me.
Very well, Gloria. I will not lay a hand on them. Frankie, remember that piñata I promised you for your birthday? Here's 2.
We start with Cyrano. Oh my god.
I was like, oh yeah, I remember these.
Do you remember ever doing Cyrano yourself in school?
Nope.
Really? I remember it.
Nope. Never even heard of it in school.
Really?
No.
Seriously?
Yep.
What?
I had no
Kidding?
idea what it was.
Wow.
Still don't.
Really? Oh my God.
What is it even from?
Okay, so it is...
I mean, I know it's like an 1800s play, but...
Yeah, that's essentially what it is. I swear I watched a Steve Martin version of this.
It's probably really good.
Yeah, because he played
Steve
Cyrano.
Martin.
Yeah, because he played Cyrano with... Yeah. Anyway, that's what I remember, but there's a lot of other films that have done the same thing. Anyway, but essentially that's what this is basically the whole thing of having your friend ask the girl out because you feel like you're not the person, blah, blah, all that. And I love that this is basically Frankie stealing Harley's girl.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
You guys got 2 options. 1, you die.
I'll take number 2.
Yeah, number 2's looking really good to me.
Number 2 is you do me a favor.
Done.
Happy to.
You just name it.
I, Frankie Stechino, am in love.
Where's this going?
She is a goddess stepped down from heaven, the most beautiful creature I have ever seen. Her voice is like the tinkling of bells, and her eyes also tinkle like bells.
Well, Well, that's real sad and tender, and what do you want from us?
Help me woo her.
What?
Woo her.
What?
Yeah, because Harley was like, yeah, pound him.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes up, he says, there's option A or option B. And they're like, we'll take option B.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
option
then,
A is I pound you, you pinatas.
Yeah, and then option B, he's like, I want you to woo her for me. And they're like, what?
What?
They're
Yeah,
like,
I
"What
love
is
that scene. I recorded that scene. It'll be right here somewhere or something because, yeah, it was like, what?
I've watched you guys. You're a good little talker. And you. Girls seem to have a thing for you. I want you guys to coach me.
Frankie, I don't know if we're the guys to help you woo her.
What?
Have you talked to Harley about this? I mean, he could probably help you out more than us.
So, you do not feel able to do me this favor?
It's probably not such a great idea.
Yeah, you're probably right. All right, pinata boys. Which one of you has the prize inside?
I don't want to die before I know what woo is.
Yeah, it was funny, though. And then he says, you know, I've seen you. You're a smooth talker. And then he says, you're always popular with the girls. And he's like, I need your help. And he says, but I have to have you with me. And, you know, he chucks him in the locker. And and then he still can't say anything right. And then he eventually figures it out and goes off. And Harley comes out and kind of breaks him a new one.
Yep, and then Gloria and Frankie go off because Frankie is the first person to ever say nice things to Gloria, and then Harley is shocked at this. And before I forget this, it is not Cyrano. It is, but the Steve Martin film from 1987 was Roxanne, which was
very similar.
It's essentially like, the basic plot here is he plays Charlie C.D. Bales, the fire chief of a small town, intelligent, witty, charismatic, athletic, regardless of... He is sensitive about his abnormally large nose. It also stars Daryl Hannah, Shelley Duvall, Rick Rossovich, Fred Willard, and Michael J. Pollard. I remember really liking this film because it was my first introduction to the whole Cyrano play at the time. Again, folks, back in the 80s and 90s, school used to show us actual films based off of these things.
Yep, they did.
Yep. So then we get your average school, 8th grade school election in episode 14. I am not a crook.
I am not a crook.
Oh, tricky dick.
Yep.
Good Lord.
I love how... Turner is purposely like he's running this, and Feeney is just like, when are you going to put an end to this? He's like, I have confidence in them. I think, you know,
I think, yeah,
maybe another minute.
Yeah.
But they're basically slurring insults back and forth.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's
none of
your
it sticks.
Yeah, none of it sticks. It's your standard 8th grade class faux pas election. It's not a faux pas election, but it's similar to the ones that, like, I don't remember 8th grade having student government. If it did, I remember 9th grade. I remember high school years, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. That had school government. In 6th, 7th, and 8th, we were just kind of, we did these things to learn about the electoral process and what it means to be president or vice president or whatever kind of thing. I like how Corey starts out being a man of the people, for the people.
And then Sean is just like, oh, just, you're a people for the people, you know. Give them what they want.
Yeah, exactly. Slides for the pool for this summer's Baywatch taping. I enjoyed this because it made me think of middle school and how we used to do the faux pas elections. Because, again, in elementary and middle school, the teachers obviously wanted us to learn the stuff, but they also wanted us to feel like we were being part, like, especially I think it was 93. Yeah, it was the 93 election. 92, 93, whatever the hell, Bush, Clinton, Gore, all that. That's when we kind of learned it. And whatever.
I thought it was funny that Turner was like, "Oh, we're just teaching him how the real thing works," and Feeney's like, "You're supposed to strive above it, not get into what they actually do."
Well, have to learn about current affairs at the time.
Yeah. Yep.
Anything else on Crook episodes?
I like how at the end everybody bowed out and then Topanga comes up.
Yep. She's like, "What about better food in the cafeteria? And that graffiti's got to go." And first female president, Topanga Lawrence. Yep. And what is probably in my top 3 favorite episodes of the second half of the second season, breaking up is really, really hard to do because this has one of my absolute favorite all-time quotes from this era of the series, and I will play that right here.
Lockerhead man, I heard your signal and came as quickly as I could.
Nice.
I love Marsden. I love Marsden.
Yeah, Marsden is great when he's in the show.
Yes, he is. So Corey gets a date for a couple's party. Sean nudges him to end the relationship before it goes on too long, but Corey cannot find the nerve to dump her. Will they be stuck together forever? The reason why this is in my top episodes for Boy Meets World, this is also where...
Who? They want you to take the roles!
This is where that comes from.
That's such an awesome part.
Yes, it is. And some interesting casting. Not interesting, but also kind of ironic and funny. This aired January 27th, 1995. In 1994, I believe, Jessica Wesson, who plays Wendy, she was Amber, the mean girl in Casper.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Uh-huh. And I was like, wait, what's she doing on? Not now, but when I had first seen this back in the day, I'm like, wait.
She was also on Home Improvement.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, she was in a lot of stuff at that time.
Flipper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Breaking up is really, really hard to do. This is, like I said, it's in my top for the second season, for the second part of the second season here. Up next, we have Danger Boy. When Eric's girlfriend's younger cousin comes to town, Eric asks Sean instead of Corey out on a double date, angering Corey and leading him to confront Eric in front of the girls. Also, Mr. Feeney is insulted when the staff assumes he wants to head the most boring clubs. The one thing I love about this show is that it mixes the kids' stuff with the adults stuff.
Well, it shows that they're not that much different.
Uh-huh.
They both deal with the same issues, just in a bigger or larger or smaller scale.
Mm-hmm.
I love this. This is one of my favorite episodes, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you get that dynamic with Feeney and Corey, and then the fact that Eric's trying to play up his brother to his girlfriend's, for the younger cousin, and he's like, "Oh, he's so mature," and then he comes out and he says, "Look, I'm a fountain," and he's spraying water, and then Sean comes down and he's like just very blunt and honest about his opinion of her, and it was basically the beginning of the end for Corey.
Mm-hmm. Yep, pretty much. Yeah, I love this episode too. This is fun.
The ending is awesome.
Oh, the ending is awesome.
I love where they go on the roller coaster to prove a point, and then they're in the opposite seats when they come down.
Yeah.
And they both look like they're just like ready to Feeney looks like he had a heart attack and died, and he's stuck that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then they both trick
Eric and
Hunter,
it was Eric and Mr. Turner.
Yeah, it was Eric and Turner and kicked him in the thing and strapped him in, and shot it out. And then the high five at the end. It was just great.
It was so fun. So good. Up next is On the Air.
Another one of my favorites.
Yes, another one of my favorites, too. The school's radio station is so boring. Corey and Sean can't even make it more interesting until they hit on the one thing that really gets people's attention, lunchtime lust. Will the teachers let them get away with it? Meanwhile, Eric enters a magazine sweepstakes. Oh, Eric.
This is like, this season, you start getting some of the inklings of how stupid Eric becomes.
Yes.
Like, how it progressively gets worse. And this is one of those episodes.
Yes.
Just because he's like, oh, I signed up, he says, I'm going to win the sweepstakes. And he's like, I signed up one name under every, book of the alphabet or, for this. And then, he's trying to read and act like he's going to win millions. And the payoff at the end is hilarious. But the radio station thing where they stumble upon that program and have these girls that are all interested in getting on the radio and whatnot, and then he shuts them down, and then they enact the pirate radio clause. And the only reason they got caught was because
they mentioned where they were.
Well, Sean says, I put the tapes behind the janitor's dump bucket, and then he goes in there and catches them. And but it was funny to hear them, have to deal with the issue when they're sitting down with Turner.
Yeah,
and
I
put them on the air anyway.
Right. And I love how this is done, is that, you have the whole school radio station thing. Always wanted to do that when I was in school, never did. I had in junior and senior year of high school, I was in a media class and I did make several videos and everything like that, but we had a broadcast television studio thing at the time. We actually had one of the local news stations at the time donated their old set. The weather guy came down with the guys bringing the old set down to the school. So that was kind of fun. But I never actually had the whole radio station, thing in school, and I always wanted to do that. And then at the end, we get Robin Leach himself, and sadly, the man's no longer with us.
And then the fact that he won, but under one of the fake names he created.
Yep.
It's like, you big idiot.
Like the people next door.
Or actually, it was the people next door.
Yeah, that's what it was. The people next door aren't home, so we're gonna sit here. And Robin Leach, missed that man. And Eric, I will say he does get a little bit smarter, but it does still angle downwards because they're making him this kind of idiot savant character, but at least he finally, in episode 18 of season 2, the 40th episode overall, by hook or by crook, an attractive history tutor helps Eric prepare for a test that might raise his grade average enough to allow him to go on a school trip to Europe. Then offers to help him cheat because she finds him attractive, and that's the only reason.
Yep.
But I remember this. This is another one of those episodes I remember specifically for the guest star Terry Evans as Tori. I remember her because she was on, I want to say, All My Children. She was on a soap for a number of years. She's one of those actresses that she wasn't in a lot, but what she was in and seeing her was like, ooh, I remember that voice, I remember that face, and yeah. But again, this episode is also teaching lessons, like Eric isn't just a pretty face. Eric isn't just a moron. He knows how to do it. He just has to apply himself.
Yeah.
I don't even think the boys had much to do in this episode. I don't remember what they were even doing.
Yeah, I don't think it was much.
This one, this is an all Eric episode, which is fine. That's not a bad thing at all. Episode 19, Wrong Side of the Tracks. A demoralized, disheartened Sean hangs out with Harley Kiner and his thugs. Much to Corey and Mr. Turner's dismay when he gets dumped by a nice girl, while Eric gets a dream skating lesson from Nancy Kerrigan. I thought this was great. I thought this was really... This is not... I don't want to say it's the beginning of Sean's characterization, because he's had characterization already.
But he starts getting more rebellious.
This is like getting into his brain, getting into how he feels, and all of that. And this, from this point on up until the end of Girl Meets World, is kind of where his character trajectory goes, starts from and goes. This episode also broke my heart because they replaced Danny McNulty with Kenny Johnston as Harley Kiner. I don't like it.
I don't like any time that they replace an actor.
Yeah. I don't mind if they add a new role, and like if Harley has gone off to boot camp or juvie or whatever, like if the Harley character has left and they bring in a new character like they're going to do here soon that we'll mention in a minute, I don't mind that at all. I think that's great. I think that's cool. You're kind of keeping the whole thing, going, the whole dynamic, except it's with somebody new, and that's fine. In the perfect example of this is the next episode, Pop Quiz. Sean and Corey accidentally discovered the date and topic of a forthcoming test. Frankie and Joey search for a new leader after being rejected by Harley Kiner. The replacement by Harley Kiner, the replacement Griff Hawkins. Griff is played by Adam Scott. I like Griff. I really like Griff. Griff is a good foil for Mr. Feeney.
Well, I liked his character better than the replacement version of
Harley.
Of Harley.
Yeah.
Don't they bring back? I'm pretty sure they bring him back.
They bring back Danny McNulty in Girl Meets World, I believe. He shows up as the janitor, I think.
Well, I think he comes back in an episode to confront Griff.
Maybe.
I think it's season 3, though.
Okay, probably. Not sure. So up next we have the Thrilla in Phila. Corey joins the wrestling team. And he has to fight Frankie.
No.
Not well, I mean, he does fight Frankie, but he has to fight Joey. And this also has Yasmin Bleeth as herself in this one, because I believe she plays one of the ring girls. This also has Robert Goulet as himself.
Interesting.
Leon White as Vader. So there's that. I like this one. This is, Corey trying to
find his place.
And and of course it's because the yearbook things are, he wants to add an extracurricular activity to the yearbook thing, and they're doing the yearbooks, and by the end of this is kind of where I want to say, my personal opinion is where Corey and Topanga kind of cement their future relationship, even though it's probably going to start by the next episode or the next couple episodes.
Yeah. Because
they each put the same quote in the yearbook for that year.
Nice.
And then episode 22 and 23 are kind of a two-parter, sort of. We have Career Day for 22 and Home for 23. Sean is left feeling like a fifth wheel in Corey's house when his mother drives off with the family's mobile home, and his father leaves to track her down. And then in Home, after staying with Corey's family for 3 weeks and not exactly fitting in, Sean searches for a more permanent home. Meanwhile, Feeney takes advantage of the fact that Eric needs help to study for his SATs by making him do yard work. I again, love this because you have the whole Sean thing, his whole backstory, the fact that his mom ran out on them. I don't love that, obviously, but I'm saying that I love this character progression. Right. Character progression, and the fact that, you have his dad there. Oh, career day, his dad. Oh, man, he's a hoot and a half. Chet Hunter. Oh, boy. Whew, hoot and a half. I think this is a interesting way to end season 2 on this note.
Yeah, I kind of agree. It kind of leaves it. Well, one, you start getting Sean trying to find his independence and who he is, aside from, Chet Hunter's son, who, his dad and his mom kind of abandoned him consistently. So you start having that baggage show up more and more, which, affects him and damages him as he gets older. So, yep. I mean, there's that. And then you have the final appearance of this version of Morgan Matthews.
Oh, Lily Nixay. I love her. I think she is great. I do really like who they get to replace her. And
Lindsay Ridgway.
Yeah, Lindsay Ridgway. I don't mind this because I understand it. Lily is growing up. She's changing. Maybe they wanted to go in a different direction, but they can still kind of have the same character. And later on down the line, when we get to Girl Meets World, we have a reunion with the Matthews sisters, and that's just fun. That's just fun and interesting, and how they call back to all that, and very, very cool.
Yep.
Topanga wasn't in a lot of these second half of episodes. She was in a few, but most of the notes on Wikipedia are, absent Topanga, absent Topanga, absent Topanga.
Well, and then it's kind of a tie with her and Alan Matthews in the next season.
Yeah.
And a few other rando characters that. But I mean, between those two, they're pretty consistently absent.
Yeah.
In the next season too. It's not. I don't think it's until the following season, like season 4, when Topanga really kind of sticks.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, with William Russ as Alan Matthews, maybe he's at work. I don't know. I don't remember a lot. I mean, obviously, we're still going to watch season 3, and we're still going to whatever. But just kind of briefly looking over the episode lists, I do not remember much about season 3. So it's going to be an interesting 2-part episode, folks, coming up where we do the since there are 22, so we'll do 11 and 11. So the first 11 episodes will be part 1, and then obviously the second 11 will be part 2. So that's going to be fun. That will be coming more sooner than 3 years from now. If we did, I have an idea. No, we can't stretch it out that long. I was going to say we could stretch this out to 2023, and that way it'd be the 30th anniversary of Boy Meets World.
Well, never say never. You don't know.
Yeah. We don't know. Overall, second half and overall for the whole season of season 2, what are your final thoughts?
I mean, I think I enjoyed what it had to offer. I do look forward to some of the later adventures and issues that they deal with, but it shows a very young family and the growing pains that come along with it, and mostly middle school.
Yeah, because next time they go to high school, well, I mean, high high school is kind of next. So very cool, very cool.
Here he is.
Wow, look at him. Cool, confident. I changed my mind. I can't talk to him.
Hey, don't get shy of me now. You guys are perfect for each other.
Yeah, but... Oh, no, he's looking this way. Joey, hide me.
Are you kidding me?
Hey, guys. All right, look, he's all by himself. Why don't you go make your move?
Hey, Griff!
Do I know you?
No, but as a guy with quite a reputation myself, I admire your work. Eric Matthews.
Hey, how are you?
I was wondering if you knew my friends, Joey and Frankie? Hi, I'm Joey. This is Frankie.
Hello.
Oh, yeah. I saw you guys. I saw you guys hanging out at school.
Huh?
You sure it was us?
Well, you were the guys sucking quarters out of the soda machine, right?
Oh, yeah, you want change for $1. Frankie, Bert.
It's okay. It's okay. So, what can I do for you?
Well, actually, Griff, I think the question is, what can they do for you? We're lackeys.
Second half for season 2, 0 to 5. What are you going to give it?
I'll give it about a 4. I enjoyed it overall. There were a few episodes with cringe moments or things I didn't realize were slipped in there when I was younger, but catch them now.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4 as well, for the same reason. Overall, I very much enjoyed the second half. There are a lot more episodes that I enjoy than I don't enjoy. Again, Sean's character development, kind of really picking up here and seeing his home life and how the show isn't just about Corey and his family. It's about the mix of everybody, and that's what we kind of said at the beginning, where they mix in the adult stuff and the kid stuff all at the same time. Man, TGIF, whew, this show, I love this show. It's so fun looking back on it now because it makes me think of half the stuff I was going through back then, and I had completely different journey than what either Corey or Sean or any of these characters had in this show. But
oh yeah, totally.
I can still relate to a lot of the issues that they went through.
Yep.
So there is that. We're going to take one quick break, folks, and we'll come back to close the show after this.
I know what we're doing today.
Okay, Michael, if we're going to tackle this podcast thing, we've got to do something really special. It has to be cool, daily, in audio form, and undetectable by radar. Something that screams summer. I know, let's do a Phineas and Ferb review podcast. We'll call it the Podcast Organization Without a Cool Acronym, or POWCA for short. What do you think?
I think if we're not careful, Candace is going to bust us.
You can find POWCA on the Geekcast Radio Network, iTunes, Blog Talk Radio, and all of the other methods you find podcasts.
Okay, then. Carry on.
Hey, it's Wes from Poppin' Off Toys. Wanted to let you know about PoppinOffToys.com. We can be your number one source for Funko collectible figures to add to your ever-growing collection. If you're in Nashville, Tennessee, we actually have a retail store that you can come by, 5916 Charlotte Pike. And for the rest of us, PoppinOffToys.com is always open, and you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even TikTok. And the name is just simply Poppin' Off Toys. Thank you so much, and always keep it poppin'.
DeCian, the superhero webcomic. DeCian's got superhero antics and sexy girls. For action, comedy, mayhem, and more, read it now at DeCian.com. DASIEN.com.
Because the world needs another movie podcast.
The Geekcast Radio Network presents for your listening pleasure the Cinema Geek.
Hosted by Amanda, Kevin, Matt, and Dan.
Each week we dive headfirst in the landscape of movies as we discuss movie news, play movie games,
go in-depth on reviews,
and even have a top 10 countdown or two.
Also, don't miss our director retrospective series, where we review noted directors' movies film by film. Bottom line is, if you love movies and love podcasts, you need to experience the Cinema Geeks.
You can find us on iTunes, Blog Talk Radio, or GeekCastRadio.com.
On the Simplistic Reviews podcast, we talk movies. We talk TV. We talk...
Hello, Julie, what the heck are you doing?
Trying to make our spots sound more exciting by adding explosions.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could have got the point across with sound effects, not the real thing.
Car.
Download this show on iTunes or at simplisticreviews.blogspot.com.
I'm sure your insurance company will cover that.
No, they won't.
No, they probably won't.
All right, we are back, and Boy Meets World Season 3, Part 1 will be coming soon. Thank you for joining us here on Podcaster Meets World. There are several ways to get in contact with us to leave feedback for the show. Visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can listen to and comment on all of our content. Send us email to feedback@geekcastradio.com. Here are all the ways you can listen to us nowadays. Apple and Google Podcasts. Leave us reviews, please. Spotify and any other podcatching client you choose to use. Follow us on Twitter @GeekCastRadio as for the network. I am @TFG1Mike. What are your Twitters?
@SCP21 and @StevePhillipsVO.
Become a fan on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/GeekCastRadio Network. Join us next time, as I mentioned, Boy Meets World Season 3, Part 1, the first 11 episodes of Season 3. Very, very fun, very, very cool. For now, I am TFG1Mike with
Steve Megatron.
Thank you for listening, and be sure to tune in next time here on Podcaster Meets World.
Look, baby geeks discovering the female of the species. I say we tag them and return next spring.
Why don't you return never?
They attempt to protect themselves by puffing up.
I don't see you guys with any girls.
Oh, please. We only hunt when we need to hunt. Ha! Wabbit season.